everybody. Welcome back once again to the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Coming to you as always from the Retro Wrestling Archive in Gadsden, Alabama. I'm here along with producer Smokey's behind the scenes, making it all happen. And of course, I can't do it without my co-host. First, let me welcome my first co-host. He is the Nightmare Nephew himself. It's Josh Briley of P3 Radio. Josh, how are we doing, sir?
I do play sometimes. So I'm not like Mr. Uncle Danny, sir, who does not play. I do play a little bit. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. It's good to be back this week. It felt odd not to record a USWA episode on a Sunday morning, but I was on the road for a special Sunday EPW show, duty called behind the microphone there. But man, I want to thank BT for stepping in and having that awesome interview with Rockin' Randy. It was very timely since we had just talked about Rockin' Randy. To have him on to tell his side of the story. And it was interesting. If you haven't heard that episode yet, go check it out. It's a really good interview from start to finish. And speaking of BT, well, hell, what are we doing? We got to bring him on right now. He's the owner, founder, and president of STSpod.club. He is Jonesboro, Arkansas's favorite son. Get ready for him. BT, Brian Tramel in the house. Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Oh, yeah. Jonesboro's baby boy, y'all. Y'all know I love my mama. It's my best friend, Gene, Gene, I want everyone to know that you are an acquired taste. I just want you to know that. My favorite host of P3 Radio, Josh. And just let everybody know we're getting Buck over here, brought to you by Jolly Roll Furniture. If you need to reopen your old account or a new account, let me know. I'll give you directions. Spaghetti Warehouse, I highly recommend the lasagna. And we're in talks with Jimmy the Jet Bland. Jimmy the Jet Bland, we're talking to him. He's at blandsmartialarts.com. We had some of his students there in the audience this week, and that's in South Haven. So we're talking to him today about being a sponsor. Thank you for the Rockin' Randy thing. It was one of those interviews where I try to get, and then he goes, "Can we do it now?" And so I had a 5-minute, hey, give me 5 minutes, and then it felt weird, and then you sent me a thing, said it's good. So, and the one thing that we got from his interview, that a lot of stuff on the internet is not right. Abe Lincoln tried to tell us that don't believe everything you see on the internet. I want to tell everybody, I've been putting you over, but, and I hate to put you over, but
everybody does, trust me.
Max Payne interview is so fucking interesting, guys. If you want to know about the history of the business, this guy, there's all kinds of things you'll learn about this guy that you just thought he was a WCW wrestler or whatever you thought about him. He talks about one of Breaking Kayfabe, a book in Japan that he actually tells the reason why and everything. It's pretty neat. He also talks about IWA, and I want to tell you, those tapes, I bootlegged those tapes, and they were so popular because it was so bad. It was Willie the Wrestling Clown, and he had a video where he was on roller skates.
Yes.
Willie the Wrestling Clown. We spoofed that all the time in my old newsletter, Wrestling Riot. I mean, back in the day, 1990, 1991, we talked about that. So
IWA lives on YouTube. There's a guy, it's called Armstrong's Alley on YouTube, and they're all there. But so much bad wrestling has been on the internet over the years. I don't think people really appreciate, like back in the time frame that it was in, you didn't see that wrestling that bad on television. So it stood out. So, I think now people watching go like, well, I've seen worse. Well, yeah, you have recently. But by God, back in 87, 88, 89, that time frame, there was no wrestling that bad on TV. It really stood out. It's fun. Go check it out. But I appreciate the kind words about the interview. I've gotten a lot of great feedback on it. Max is just a super nice guy, man. He's wanting to perhaps come back for a part 2 or maybe work on some other things together. So I'm excited about that.
He's got that movie coming out. I can't wait to see that movie. So
Yeah, that thing. He's talked about it and alluded to it on shows before about that whole Steve Miller tie-in to the Man Mountain Rock,
Oh, that's
thing
crazy.
in
Yeah.
WWF, and somebody got a preview of that show before it got edited, and they said, "You believe him on that? That kind of sounds like bullshit." And I was like, "You're going to believe it because there's a clip from the Jimmy Kimmel show that proves everything he said was true, and it's a really interesting piece of the puzzle and the story. So if you hadn't checked that interview yet, please do. It's pretty fun. It's nothing to do with me. It's just Max is just a really interesting guy and has a great story to tell. I don't know. I've had a string of interesting guests here recently. So the DI Bob Carter, I've had so many people message me, go, man, I didn't even know who that guy was, but damn, that was a good interview. He had a lot of interesting stories. And where else are you going to hear a guy with a Boston accent do a Stu Hart impression? I mean, I wasn't ready for that for sure. So anyway, I guess it's time now we start getting into some USWA wrestling. August 31st, 1991. Dave and Michael St. John are ready for a big show. And right out of the gate, they tell us we have a new unified world heavyweight champion of the week, because that's what it feels like recently with that recent Awesome Kong 2-week detour as champion. Let's take a look at how the Dragon Master defeated the King for the unified title.
Pulls the Dragon Master over, slams his face into the top turnbuckle. Lawler firing away again. Lawler going in after him, picks him up for the body slam. Christopher Honey Law from the outside grabs Lawler's boot, holds him down for the pin cover. He just had Lawler's boot, holding on to it. Lawler couldn't kick out in there. The Dragon Master walking out with the belt.
Now we're going to get to the Honey Love promo in a moment, because we got to watch this. This is perhaps one of the biggest Christopher Love promos ever. But just that clip, just Dragon Master winning the title. I want to pose this question to you two guys with all your knowledge of wrestling over the years. That finish, does that put heat on Burt Prentice, or does all the heat go on Frank Morrell for completely missing the fact that 375 pounds of Burt Prentice is all the way inside the ring, laying on Jerry Lawler's legs, who are also partially under the bottom rope? Who gets the heat for that one, guys?
Well, I mean, I know at the time, in my little childlike mind, Frank Morrell did, because that sorry bastard didn't notice. And you're right, he was directly laying over. And, that's just like Burt, to be over exaggerated, because it is like, in my head, that's the Bobby Heenan and Rick Rude thing that got popular, just a couple years before or whatever. But yeah, overly exaggerated. I bet Lawler's ankles hurt. That Burt's whole belly was laying all over it. But man, yeah. So as a kid, yeah, Frank Morrell, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I really, I love the way they did it. But the one thing that I wrote down was, as soon as they said they were going to show clips, I was excited because I was going to get to see the Dragon Master work and see how bad he was. And they did. They showed like a minute. You just showed the whole clip of the match that they showed. So I thought, oh, hell, they wanted to get in and out of that. Lawler said, don't show any of that shit. So,
and I mean, I get it, but I also don't. It's like, if he's so bad that you can't even show a clip of a minute of that match, why would you put the title on him? But he's 7'3" or whatever the hell. And the other thing that stood out to me about that, as soon as the clip started, because I didn't remember the finish, but it's like, okay, Lawler's going to body slam this guy right up against the ropes, and then he has to hold him there a few extra seconds before Burt does the trip. So just everything about it just felt contrived and as hell. But boy, this interview more than makes up for it. Let's hear Honey Love celebrate the world title victory of the Dragon Master.
Well, here he is right here, Christopher Honey Love with the world title in hand. How grand it is to be champion of the world, honey. Yes, Davy Brown, you're looking so wonderful today. Jerry Lawler is yesterday's news, just like I told all you deadbeats he would be, honey. I'm excited. This is just wonderful.
What?
Are you speechless, honey?
Almost. You can be excited if you want to, but as we mentioned a little bit earlier, I think you probably deserve as much credit for having that belt as your Dragon Master does because of interference.
But, honey, that punk Jerry Lawler all night long said, Chris Love, why don't you get in here? Why don't you come in the ring? Why don't you come in the ring, honey? Well, finally I did, and the man must have fainted or something, honey, because he laid down. Jerry Lawler is so afraid of me, honey. It is pathetic, and this is proof in the pudding. On to bigger and better things, because Jerry Lawler, you're done, honey. You have one more title shot. You better make it a good one. Now, my problem isn't with Jerry Lawler this week, honey. It's with these people out here. I have never seen more filthy, rotten, vulgar, poorly dressed people in my life. And starting this week, throughout the USWA, honey, Christopher Love is enforcing a dress code. Ladies, you will attend the matches in evening gowns, or you will not be allowed in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, for the men, you will wear tuxedos if you're over the age of 25. And kids, take a bath. Now, how do you like that, honey?
Well, you're going to have trouble enforcing that dress code.
I'm not going to have trouble at all. Jerry Lawler, honey, I'm going to give you one more peek. This is the world champion. Follow me, Davey.
All right, well, going to open the box here.
One look.
Oh.
See? Jerry Lawler beat every man known to wrestling. But here's a creature that he couldn't beat, honey. And no way is he going to get this away from Christopher. You can call me Honey Love. And I have it on great authority that Jeff Jarrett peroxides his hair.
Oh, my goodness. Christopher Honey Love.
BT, you're froze up or something, man. I don't know what's going on with your screen there.
It's my regular. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. It's my regular face, y'all.
Did you hear that at the end?
When I seen it register with you, I knew you heard it too. I didn't hear it in editing this or anything, but I heard it that time, and I saw your face go, "Oh, Josh heard it too." That's what he said.
I didn't hear it. What are you talking about?
A fan yelled out to Honey Love the exact same things the fans were yelling at Boy Tony when we watched that 87 episode.
87, you should have been with us, Josh. Can I go ahead and say it? I mean,
let's not say it on this show on the main
right.
feed. But it was an F. Okay. It's an F word that you would shout at a Boy Tony or a Burt Prentice. I think we know what that is, probably.
Fun Bunny. That's
but
Fun Bunny.
The best
right?
part is nearly every single person in the studio was chanting this loudly. You couldn't have drowned this out. And Dave goes, I think they're yelling fatty at Tony Falk.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Dude, I mean, he is in rare form. The honeys were flying everywhere. The new dress code. I mean,
like you said it before, this is one of the best Honey Love promos that I've ever seen. He is the world champion. Like,
Did y'all think that was the Dragon Master in there or just somebody in there? I just was probably because they didn't bring him up or everything. Someone's just playing the part of the Dragon Master.
Well, whoever it was probably suffocated because all of that smoke, the dry smoke was contained, and he wouldn't let that lid up long.
And got the lid he got the lid slammed on his head. It's like, damn, dude. But yeah, I mean,
Burt is the champion.
Yes, Burt is the avatar. I mean, Dragon Master is the avatar for Burt, and this is an angle between Burt and Lawler. Burt's the champion. That was just somebody, a warm, tall body to go in there and get it done.
Warm, tall body.
Well, all right. Don't get people chanting at you. People are chanting that at you listening to this podcast right now.
Well, I know it. Warm body.
And not fatty. Man, the whole ladies have to wear evening gowns. Men over 25 have to wear tuxedos. I don't know what you're wearing up to 24.
Oh, God.
But you do have to take a bath, apparently.
Probably overalls, honey.
Lawler is yesterday's news. Man, that was as soon as I watched that one, I was like, all right, we've got to watch this in its entirety. But that's why I wanted to split it up from the finish, because I didn't want to get lost in talking about how convoluted that finish was. But it served its purpose because it's got Lawler directly focused on Honey Love. So good promo to kick it off. So how do you build upon that? Well, you have a great match to kick the show off. Dr. Tom Prichard against Nightmare Danny Davis. I mean, my goodness, can you think of a better match to kick off a show with?
God, and what a match it was. I mean, it was technical wrestling on display. Like it was just perfect. You know, I love the way it flowed. And then, you know, the ending came how it ended. But, you know, we see that it was just serving a purpose for a bigger vision.
And that happens a lot on TV, but like you said, even though the finish, you know, it was already you knew where that was going. Hell of a match. I mean, I can't think of a better single match we've seen on television in weeks now. What'd you think about it, BT?
You know, a big mark for both of these guys. I thought it was really good. When you watch matches like this, all I can think of is I wish I could see the 20-minute version from the house show, because, you know, if you saw the results and these two guys were against each other on a house show, they want to work. That's the cool thing about these two guys want to wrestle. They don't, you know, and in a house show, you can get 15 to 17 to 20 minutes and it would have been a lot better. But yeah, two of my favorites, especially in this, you know, this time period. I always liked Tom Prichard, but I think I like Tom Prichard more since we started watching this.
It's the Piper thing, I think.
And I was all, you know this, and Josh does too. I've always been, you know, Nightmares fan from way back. Big mark for both of those guys.
Yeah. But the finish doesn't hurt them. That's what I like about it. It didn't have to damage anybody, and the greater good prevailed and introduced a bad woman.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. So we got a great wrestling match going on, and then this breaks out at ringside.
Having their moments in this match, and Davis now sent outside to the floor in a dangerous area around Miss Texas. And look at this. Miss Texas going to work on the Nightmare Danny Davis on the floor, and boy, she is just waylaying him. Danny trips her up.
Look out! It's Georgia. Sweet Georgia Brown has grabbed Miss Texas.
Both of these ladies going after each other on the floor, and oh my goodness, Prichard is out, Davis over to attend to him. The original Sweet Georgia Brown and Miss Texas locking horns, and boy, oh boy, what a fight. Rolling on the floor, punching, scratching, fighting, look out, Dave, holy cow. Miss Texas back here behind the table. Georgia has her. Here comes Tom Prichard. Boy, oh boy, Dave, have you ever seen two women get after each other like those two just did?
Boy, I tell you, Miss Texas grabbed Danny Davis after Prichard had thrown him out here on the floor. And
so Miss Texas is just flogging Uncle Danny to the point that Sweet Georgia Brown, I think, was a little late on her cue, so he had to double leg Miss Texas and take her down and put a stop to that shit. Just about the time that Miss Texas got there. What did you guys think of this ladies' brawl here?
I like that they're trying to reintroduce, another body to put with Miss Texas, because that's what it is. Ultimately, we're just trying to feed around her and get her different people. But I remember Sweet Georgia Brown with Brickhouse Brown. I guess at this point it'd be like a year earlier. Yeah. But I don't remember ever seeing her like in action or anything. But God, it seemed like all she wanted to do was just tie up with her, not really doing anything. Just, I'm going to grab a hold of you and we'll work this fucking announcer's desk.
Until they went to the ground, it looked like they were ballroom dancing across the floor over to the side of the ring.
I want to tell you guys, all I could think about is my old fat ass someone throwing me across that announcer's table, me bumping behind it, and then someone picking me up and throwing me again and bumping in front of it. Y'all would have had to come get my fat ass and help me to the back just from that bump. So it was horrible.
Well, if you watch that one, the second time I watched it when I was editing the show and getting the clips, Miss Texas launches herself over like
Yes.
Sweet Georgia Brown didn't throw her over that desk. She launched herself over the desk. I mean, both times. It was impressive. But yeah, you could see that Miss Texas was way farther advanced in her wrestling training than Sweet Georgia Brown hadn't been taught anything. She was basically just clinging on to her and rolling around a bit. But and what was funny to me too is Prichard goes up when they first tie up over there on the side close to the babyface entrance. Prichard goes to break him up, and you see Uncle Danny come, and you're like, all right, they're going to break him up. He slugs Prichard and takes him off in the other direction. I don't know if that was like payback for Sweet Georgia Brown being late or what, but it tickled me the very first time I saw it. You see him reach down and just double leg Miss Texas. I was like, yeah, he wouldn't want to sit there and keep getting hit upside the head until she finally shows up.
She lays them in, y'all. She lays them in.
I'll tell you what, it's yeah, I then or today, either one, I would not want to fight Miss Texas. I mean, and then, I didn't really know. I found out when I did that article on her a while back about all her like judo training and everything.
Yeah, Randy talked about, she just throws you around. So,
yeah. And then he doubled down on that. And I'm thinking, yeah, from experience, brother, like that poor guy.
She whooped your ass.
But it was nice to hear that, they got along outside of there. And, he respects her and everything. He went like, I was just going to whoop that bitch's ass if they hadn't stopped, He's like, yeah.
He didn't do the cocoa on her. Let's just say that.
Right.
Oh, my God. Yes. That is.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to throw up in somebody's face. I mean, mouth.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, we may be seeing some here in a little bit, but right now we got the King coming out, and he's bringing in somebody as a bit of an equalizer for Dutch Mantell. Now this goes on for like 9 minutes. I got like 2.5 of it clipped out, but check this out.
The King, welcome. And listen, they're your people, I think.
What a crowd, I tell you. I do get a little respect every now and then, I can't believe it. Man, there he is.
It's been a while since we've seen the Dutchman. He's checking under the ring.
He's looking for something.
Here he comes, Dutch Mantell. Been a while. He's looking all around. Hello, Dutch. Hello, Dutch.
Let me ask you a question. Have you seen Stan Hansen?
Well, not in a long time, no.
Jerry, have you seen Stan Hansen?
No, I haven't, Dutch.
Man, I have looked everywhere for him. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say one thing right now. I looked all over WCW for Stan Hansen, and I can't find him. And people, I'm asking from the bottom of my heart, if you've seen Stan Hansen, write me or call me right here at this station, Channel 5, 1960 Union Avenue, and please tell me if you've got a lead on him, because I want to track him down, because there's something I want to ask him. Now, Jerry, I'm here just for you.
I appreciate that fact, Dutch. Now, I'm sure you've been standing back there. You saw Christopher Love, and all I'm asking you to do, Dutch, is come down there to the Mid-South Coliseum Monday night and sit next to him while my match goes on and make sure that he doesn't interfere. Do you mind sitting next to this guy?
Well, Jerry, for you, I will do it. Yes, I do mind sitting next to him. Ordinarily, to sit next to a guy like this, you'd have to go to one of those funny bars.
That's right.
All right, you'd have to go to, well, I'm not going to say where you got to go, but, something's bothered me, Jerry.
What's that, Dutch?
Do I have to touch him?
Do you have to touch him? Well, let me just say this. If he gets up out of his chair, I want you to just yank him back down and make sure that he stays in his seat. You may have to put your hand. You got on gloves.
Well, you know what he'll want to do, don't you?
What?
He'll want to sit in my lap. And I ain't going to stand for it. I ain't going to stand for no 400 pounds sitting in my lap. I'll tell you what, I'll sit there. If he makes one move, I'm going to knock him right out.
That's exactly.
One punch, I'm going to knock him right down. And If he does it early in the match, you don't have to worry. I don't even have to watch him. I could actually go back to the dressing room because he's going to be knocked out laying there. But I'll do it for you, Jerry. But I want to ask a favor of you.
What's that?
Will you help me find Stan Hansen?
I'll help you find Stan Hansen, and you're going to help me this Monday night because, as you heard, Christopher Love, make one move. Get up out of that chair one time, and he is going to knock your lights right out, fat boy.
So Lawler comes out doing a Rodney Dangerfield impression for a moment there that I thought was kind of odd. I clipped the part where he talked about having Orca the whale laying across his legs when he was getting pinned for the title. But Dutch, I remember back when this was happening, I remember thinking as soon as I saw Dutch come through the curtain, I thought, are they even going to acknowledge all this silly desperado shit he's been doing in WCW? And he did it in a humorous way that addresses it, but, doesn't, I thought that was pretty funny, the way that he looked under the ring and he's asking Dave and Lawler and all that. But the one that got me, though, is usually to sit next to a guy like this, you got to go to one of them funny bars. And that Burt would want to sit on his lap. I don't know what you guys think of this.
I thought it was hilarious, and it was like Bizarro World because I can't think of another time where guys that have done gimmicks in other places, they come and, maybe they're the same thing, but this is like something that there were skits and all kinds of TVs, and it was kind of elongated from my memory. It seemed like they never found him.
No.
But now thinking, I think maybe Dutch, he probably wasn't a big fan of it then. And he was just kind of poking fun. And obviously he's not working there anymore. So, yeah, it's probably poking fun at his last few months in that company. And
he actually just was, poking fun, just having fun. Dutch was always the kind of guy, if he got paid, he didn't really care what you ask him to do if he's making a really regular. And, the Stan Hansen thing is really funny because he also does it on Cassette Wrestling News.
Really?
Yes. If you'll go to our main feeds, you can listen to the Cassette Wrestling News. Every time he makes a guest appearance during this time period, one of the first things he asks Jeff Osborne is, have you talked to Stan Hansen? And then he says, Jeff, I'm going to have to get off here because it looks like I got a call coming in. I really hope that's Stan Hansen. But he goes right along with the gimmick during the Cassette Wrestling News. So, yeah, he was just having fun. I don't remember this on television, but I do remember riding with Dutch to some kind of spot show or something during this time. It wasn't like a Memphis show. It was something else. And he did that. I've told this story before, but he arrives at my house and he's in this little bitty car. And I was like, did you drive all the way from Memphis? I mean, from Nashville? And because he was living in Nashville at the time. He goes, no. He goes, I stuck a feather in my ass and flew. I mean, it was just snap right back at me. Something I wanted to ask you guys. Lawler called him Dutchman. I mean, like Dutch man, like that. But what was the deal with the Dutchman? I don't get that. I mean, that was his name.
Lance used to call him that a lot.
Yeah,
the Dutchman. So that was just a little nickname they gave him.
And Lawler goes Dutchman. I mean, it was really weird. It felt weird to me anyway.
So, the British have a saying, taking the piss out of something. And I feel like that's kind of what this was. Because, like, if he comes out and addresses it, makes fun of it right at the beginning, then it makes everybody, he's aware of it. He knows it's silly. He's making fun of it. And I'm thinking maybe you do that because you don't want to get to spot shows and stuff and people are chanting, Desperados or Stan Hansen or ask him about it at the gimmick table or whatever. So you just address it right out of the gate. And now, I mean, I feel like if Terry Taylor could have addressed Red Rooster right out of the gate, maybe he wouldn't have got Rooster chants. I remember going to Jackson, Tennessee to a WCW house show where people are chanting Rooster at him as he's getting out of his car in the parking lot, and then all through his match and shit, the shit just haunted him. So I feel like maybe that was kind of Dutch just getting in front of this whole thing, maybe. But either way, it's fun, whatever the reasoning is. But yeah, I love Dutch Mantell. He's so funny. I love that story about. I stuck a feather up my ass sleeve. That's such a Dutch man.
It is. I mean, and it's just one of those things where I'm just standing there going, "Fuck."
You're like this. You're like, that's how this day's starting out, huh? Like,
yeah, I just said to myself, remember what they always say: just keep your mouth shut and listen. So that's pretty much what I did for the trip. So.
Yep. So that's an interesting pairing there. Lawler with Dutch in his corner against the Dragon Master with Honey Love, and they're going to be side by side up there. So that should be interesting. From there, we have a confrontation with Reggie B. Fine and Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett and Robert Fuller are out here doing a promo. Reggie B. Fine comes up. He comes out here to address the guys, and, well, take a look at what happens.
And Robert Fuller, the Tennessee stud. They've got those World Tag titles wrapped around their waist. Those are their belts. They've had them for a long, long time. And they are terrific champions, let me tell you. Proud to have them representing the world titles in the USWA. Jeff Jarrett, Robert Fuller. They got many, many fans, as you can see, as they head around the ring area right now. Here comes Jeff. Jeff, come on in here. Let's talk about some of this action which is coming up.
That's right, Dave. I got a special match this week. Reggie B., you look real good last week up there in your birthday suit. I just got a few words for you. Yeah, come on down here, Reggie.
All right, come on, Reggie.
Let me tell you something, boy. Let me tell you one thing. Look, man, you made me look real bad. You don't put your hand on me, man. You humiliated me. You embarrassed me, boy. Look at me, boy. He put his hands on you. Hey, you mind your own business, boy. Let me tell you something. You don't put your hand on me, boy.
Yeah.
You got me in the mix.
Hey, Reggie.
You see what I'm saying? Let me tell you something,
There's
man.
a lot easier ways to get your finger broken than put it on my chest.
Oh, so now you want to be smart.
Yeah.
Now you want, you know what? What I need to do, boy.
What's that, Reggie?
It's going to take somebody like me to cut you down a couple pegs. You know what I mean?
Well, you just...
But I feel like slap.
Whoa!
You want some more? You want some more? Some more here. Hey, I wouldn't take $1 million for that right there. We got work to do. Let's get
There you go.
Robert Fuller wouldn't take $1 million for that right there. So what I didn't mention before that is before this, we saw a clip from last week's tag team championship match where Jeff Jarrett and Robert Fuller defended against the awesome team of Awesome Kong and the
Bruiser.
Weird Halloween mask thing he's got on. And by the end of the match, Reggie B. Fine is stripped down to his underwear by Jeff Jarrett. And so Reggie's not happy.
Why did he rape him?
I've never understood the whole spot where baby faces where baby faces strip clothes off of people. Like, have you ever been so mad at somebody like, oh, I'm just going to strip you naked? But that's just like those stupid back alley street brawl matches where that's the rules, where, I mean, I understand when there's women involved, but why are you stripping Reggie B down to his drawers out there? But boy, the execution of that whole Reggie attempting to slap, Jeff slapping him. Now you thought you could tell Miss Texas threw herself over the table. My goodness. What'd you guys think of this whole thing?
Even though it was just like horrible in execution, it was so goddamn funny. Like, I absolutely love Reggie B. Fine. Like, anytime he's on camera, it's gonna be a good time, and that's all we're watching this shit for anyways, is just to be entertained. And he is like the Red Fox of Memphis wrestling, like just hilarious, and he can do shit like this. And even as a kid, I was like, that's about right. I expect Reggie to fail, and it's hilarious when he does, especially the way that he approached it, his timing with somebody need to take you down a few pegs. I think I'm going to slap, and just gets the shit slapped out of him. I love that shit.
You tried to rape me Monday night, so I'm going to slap the shit out of you. I actually like this, and you said Red Fox. All I could think about is, you ever hear some of those very first comedy albums he done? Woo, they are bad. I mean bad. But yeah, I like this. Him falling on the announcer's desk was just hilarious to me. But, with all three of those guys standing there, it really gives you. Fuller was such a big ass man. I mean, or is such a big ass man. God, he's huge. He towers over all of them.
Well, and it kind of made Reggie look silly, like to turn your back to Fuller.
Oh, Fuller,
shit
yeah.
talk Jarrett, like Jarrett could just clobber you right now. There wouldn't be nothing you could do. You got your back to him. But the thing that stood out about this to me is, so when I was in junior high, we had a class called Industrial Arts, which was a shop class essentially, and the teacher was a guy named Mr. Presley, and he was a black dude about Reggie B's age, about Reggie B's height. And every single day he would dress like Reggie was here, where everything, shirt, pants, shoes, socks, every stitch of things he had on was one color. He had red, he had baby blue, he had black, he had green. He looked like a fucking leprechaun. But each one was a little different shade than the other. They didn't all match. Like, it wouldn't be, the shirt would be almost pink. It would be so light red. The pants would be super, super dark. And then the shoes would be like another tone. So it just stood out. But I never made that connection until Reggie come out dressed like that. I'm like, oh my God, it's Mr. Presley. And the funniest thing about that dude is he talked like Reggie. I mean, he's in the educational system, and he talked like Reggie, and he spelled the way you assume Reggie would spell. Because, like, for instance, we had a project where you had to build a model house, and he's like, Today, class, we're gonna build a dream house. It says you're gonna build your dream house. And he's like, goes to write it on the chalkboard. DREMHOSE, Dream hose. So you write dream house. And then there's a guy that's sitting right behind me named Andre Johnson. Mr. Presley. Yeah, what you want, Andre? What the hell's a dream hose? Boy, that's dream house. You can't read? Is you retarded? Do we need to send you down there to that special class? That's dream house, boy. Learn how to read. He would just go off like that. Now I'll never see Reggie again without connecting those two. But the best part about him, and then we'll move on, he claimed to be the nephew of Oprah Winfrey, because she was from Mississippi, from the same town he grew up in. But the only evidence he had of that was a signed headshot that you could have got like through the mail if you mailed her show. But it was an 8x10 of Oprah Winfrey signed, and it wasn't even personalized. It was just a sign. I could get one, wherever. And he would tell that at least once a day. He would, hey, just like my my relative Oprah Winfrey be saying, she be saying. Me and my buddy's like, I can't believe this guy teaches anything in school. Like, what? Aberdeen. Anyway, so that happens, and then we go to the ring. Jarrett and Fuller versus the Scorpion and Tim White. Didn't clip this one. I mean, how many Fuller and Jarrett tag team matches have we seen? And at this point, I was kind of clip heavy on the show anyway. So we do miss. It's announced during the card for Monday night, which we'll talk about later in the show, that Robert Fuller is going to have a mystery partner to take on Awesome Kong and the Bruiser Monday night. And so at the end of this, of course, Awesome Kong and them hit the ring, and Robert Fuller's mystery partner comes out, and it's, by God, Coco Beware. He's got
Look at that.
He didn't do the run-in with the parrot.
Look at that. Look at that shit. That is so awesome. I want a shirt like that.
and glasses to match.
Yes.
Just these two as a tag team right here is amazing, especially if you could picture Robert Fuller in his Colonel Robert Parker Colonel outfit standing next to the Birdman. I mean, that's a dream team right there. The Birdman and Colonel. I wish that could have happened, but yeah. So that's the big match we got coming up Monday night. Coco, and we got a little. I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see what Brian's got on it, but there was a little insight in the Observer as to why Coco. Was here,
yeah, I got that. Yeah.
So we'll get to that later, but right now we get to see.
We know what's coming up.
Basically, Dave Brown gets bullied by Jimmy Valiant and Sweet Georgia Brown. You talking about uncomfortable. We had one moment on the last episode where we reviewed USWA, where Dave was uncomfortable for just a moment. Well, it just kept happening in this one. Check this out.
This is my personal coat. This says right down, it says, Handsome Jimmy, the Boogie Woogie Man loves you. Now, what I want to do is present my personal coat to my personal friend right here. Look at here. Oh, wait a minute, David. You know something? Yeah, that's right. You know something? Your arms a little short. I got to roll this coat up for you. You know, in fact, Dave Brown, I think you short all over. But that's cool. That don't make you a bad guy right there. You know something? I want to talk about Memphis with Handsome Jimmy. Come in here, sweet Georgia Brown. Look at this lovely lady right here. You know, sweet Georgia Brown, her mama and my aunt, they're sisters. Now, I don't know if we're related or not, but it don't matter.
You know we are, Jimmy.
I love you. Oh, hey, sweet Georgia, give Dave a kiss, yeah, hon. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's give a kiss together. Come on. Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about the match here.
All right, the match. It's going to be a mixed tag team match. First, kissing cousin. Yeah, kiss and cut. Give him another kiss, baby. Give him another kiss. All right. Well, we're not going to kiss in there Monday night. We're going to get down to business. It's a mixed tag.
Woo! Much said, Daddy.
Ooh.
Look at Dave's face right there with that coat on. That's a hell of a screenshot there. My goodness, they could use this as an HR training video these days of things you cannot do in the workplace. I mean, when he did it the first time, I was like, whoa, I bet Dave's upset. And then he has her kiss him, and they both kiss him, and then they kiss me. I bet you Dave was, I bet he was red hot by the time this was over with.
Bunch of bullshit.
And you can't act mad about it because they're baby faces. But I had to clip because I told myself, I was like, all right, no more clips. I clipped too much stuff already. And I was like, oh shit, no, we're watching this for sure. We have to watch this beyond a shadow of a doubt. But there you go. We're going to have a mixed tag team match. Handsome Jimmy and Sweet George Brown against Dr. Tom and Miss Texas. I don't think we're going to get 5 stars on this one, guys, if Meltzer was to see this match. That's just purely speculation on my part, but I can only imagine what this turned out to be.
Yeah, I wish that they were doing the arena shows at this. You remember they had the arena shows that they would show like in other towns on different nights and stuff. If they had a clip of that match, good God, it
was usually those first 3 or 4 matches is what they showed. Didn't they do that Jackson? At 12 o'clock noon, I think, which I thought was weird since if you was watching Memphis wrestling, if you had to switch over and watch it, you could see what match they were showing. But you had that 30 minutes. You could either watch the expiration of the time or you could watch an arena match.
Well, in Tupelo, it came on noon on Sunday on the Tupelo station. So you could watch Sunday morning live. You could watch this week's show, and then you could go Sunday morning and watch the Tupelo station and see the matches from 2 weeks ago from the Mid-South Coliseum. So that was always fun. And that was hosted by Michael St. John just in the control room there usually. Is
there you go. Yeah.
But
he probably produced those.
He probably hosted them and produced it and did the whole thing by himself. He looked quite amused in the background. When I rewatched these to clip them, Michael St. John in the background seems like he's having a little too much fun watching Dave squirm during this whole thing.
He probably knows the terror that's inside and he just can't unleash it. I mean, because like you said, you saw he acted the last time. I mean, like he was a Dodger, you know, like he was acted like he had some type of training, but he was in submission because he had already let Sweet Georgia Brown kiss him, and he got his face grabbed. Jimmy grabbed him by the nose and pulled.
Yes,
he said, "Oh."
Man, that reminded me of that guy across the street when I was 11 years old. Wait,
save that for Patreon. Jimmy kind of exposed how he did that because you could see him put his hand over Sweet Georgia Brown's mouth when he grabbed her. Right. I think it was the second time for the cousins kissing or whatever he said. But Handsome Jimmy, that's him. Now, this next segment's a little bit ironic considering how things would play out in the future. You got superstar Bill Dundee out there. He's a light heavyweight champion. He's clearly ready to go to Japan now that he's the champion. And Samantha comes out. We saw her out here rubbing all over Humongous's chest and everything, trying to molest him last episode that we watched. Now she's out here trying to talk Bill Dundee into taking her to Japan with him because nobody else will do for him what she will. These segments just feel awkward. Like with all the things I've heard wrestlers say off camera behind the scenes about Samantha, it just feels like we're getting insight into something that probably happened in a dressing room or behind the building.
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah.
And now we're just like, hey, remember when I caught you talking to Dundee? Let's do that on TV. But obviously it ends up with Bull Payne attacking Dundee from behind. And he ends up cutting Dundee's forehead open with all those spikes that they got on their outfits there. And it looks like we're heading towards a Bull Payne versus Bill Dundee feud next once he finishes up with Uncle Danny here. And again, it's ironic because not now, but a few years from now, Dundee and Samantha are going to be a thing. So a little bit of unintentional foreshadowing here, perhaps. That leads us into our next match. BT's buddy Rockin' Randy is here. He's going to wrestle.
Hey, I want to make a real quick comment about that promo.
Yeah.
He said he called him Daniel and Dan, talking about Danny Davis, I think. And then he said Japan instead of Japan. He said Japan. Samantha said take her to Japan or take her to Japan. She said because them girls over there all look the same.
Yes. Forgot to mention that. Good call. Good call.
Well, you know, I'm a huge Samantha fan. I've already forgot about Dirty White Girl. So, yeah, I'm done with her.
And a huge fan of racism, too. So I would have figured you would have caught that. As we've established. Although you did
all
kind
look
of break,
the same, y'all.
You did kind of break character today when you liked Reggie B's segment. So
I know. I hate that. Yeah.
Killing kayfabe here. But no, so Bull Payne, Rockin' Randy have a decent little match here until Bill Dundee comes out and cracks the living shit out of Bull Payne with a chair. Holy shit, when have you seen a chair got that stiff on?
And it was unusual for this time period in 91 because he just stood there and took it.
Yeah.
Like it was, this ECW didn't happen until years later. But yeah, it was one of the first just straight up unprotected chair shots I ever saw. Like I was like,
it sounded off too, man. Like I rewound it, watched it a couple of times. You could hear it through that whole studio. Good God. I was like, damn, dude, KEW ain't a thing. Yeah, what are you doing? Taking unprotected chair shots to the dome like that. So DQ win for Bull Payne, obviously. I figure Rockin' Randy's okay with taking the loss, getting to see Bull Payne get his head smashed in with a chair after some of the things he endured in that match. And it wasn't Miss Texas running in on him. I don't know. What'd you think about your boy Rockin' Randy here, BT?
I thought he looked good. He did his job doing what he's supposed to do. I think they may have, he only got to do that for a week there against Miss Texas, and then they brought sweet Georgia Brown in. I think they might have, got a couple more weeks out of that with him. I know the promo wasn't that good, and he tells it on the podcast. That was the first promo, by the way. Josh said, I just shit on him, and you're going to interview him. But that was his first TV promo. So that has a lot. But I think he's a good little bumper. I mean, he does what he's supposed to do.
Are you his grandma?
He's a good little bumper.
You're a good little bumper, honey.
He's a good little bumper.
Just got to learn to do promos.
He liked working Bull, so. Bull was solid with him, so
it's just so weird looking at Bull and they're like, damn, he was just a Texas Hangman just like weeks ago, and now he's this whole new character because this is the birth of Bull Payne here. It's not like that he'd been doing, he'd been Texas Hangman right up till just before this, and then he becomes Bull Payne, and here we are.
We had that story a couple weeks back where Josh told that he's the one that came up with that gimmick. So him and his grandma.
He said, Josh, your grandma's making the gear. What do you think my name should be? Bull Payne. And that was it.
I got gored by a bull one time, and it was real painful. Josh, I think you did it. I think you did it. That's it. Bullpen. Next up, the Dirty White Boy's out alone because Dirty White Girl has had to leave town. And he's demanding a one-on-one match with Eric Embry for the Southern Heavyweight title. And he promises it's going to be an eye for an eye. After Embry tried to put him out of wrestling, he's going to put Eric Embry out of wrestling. And I didn't clip that one because we saw a lot of Dirty White Boy promos the last few weeks. And we've seen a lot of Eric Embry promos the last few weeks. So, they're setting up for their match. And I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be a good one, but they've been in proximity to each other so much lately. This one don't feel special. It's just like,
well, yeah. And Dirty White Boy's promo, it felt shoehorned.
Yeah.
Like it was just, oh shit, we've only got this much time, so get out there real quick.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, it felt like that.
But they presented it as the main event or the last regular match. So they would have allotted a little more time for it. But yeah, they've had some intense stuff going on in the past few weeks. So maybe they thought, we don't need to try too hard.
I feel like the Dundee and Samantha thing probably went a little over on time. And perhaps maybe a couple of these matches may have went a little bit over too. So that brings us to our expiration of time match. Jerry Lawler and Dutch Mantell against Awesome Kong and the Bruiser. We end up getting Reggie B involved. He's got his walking cane.
Walking stick is what he said.
Stick,
a walking stick.
Yeah. Get it right. Walking stick that Reggie B has. So Lawler and Mantell win by disqualification. And Dave promotes the big Labor Day Star Wars coming up at the Mid-South Coliseum Monday night. Holy cow, at all the freaking matches. Like, all right, we may not be able to give you a bunch of great matches, but by God, we're going to give you a bunch of freaking matches. Holy shit. Let's go now.
I don't know why I wrote this down. I just wanted to say it. When Reggie was jumping around with that walking stick, hitting people, I wrote down the Reggie B. Fine character should have been on Scooby-Doo. And I don't know why, but he would have made a hell of a character on Scooby-Doo.
It did look hokey the way he was jumping around and using the cane or stick.
I loved it. Loved it.
Good point. I don't know why I didn't make note of that, but yeah, when he was doing it, I was like, I'm a fan of Reggie B, but boy, everything he's done on this show has looked just really, really hokey looking for some reason. Let's take a quick break, and we come back. We're going to hear the card for Monday night's Labor Day Star Wars.
Memphis wrestling changed in 1998, and now we're going back to relive it all. Gene Jackson, Rob Helt, and Brian Tramel are launching the brand new Retro Wrestling Review Power Pro Wrestling podcast, and they're watching and reviewing the entire run of TV5 Memphis Power Pro Wrestling from 1998 to 2001, every twist, every turn, every wild main event. From the debut episode to the final broadcast, they're reliving it all. New episodes drop on YouTube and all podcast platforms every Saturday morning, with early access exclusively on Patreon. And it all premieres Saturday, April 18th, 2026, exactly 28 years to the day Power Pro first hit TV5 in 1998. Power Pro is back. Well, sort of. Follow us over at facebook.com/retro wrestling review and follow along with us. We'd love to hear your thoughts as well.
Hey guys, Ray Russell here. Lots of new stuff happening here at WrestleCopia. If you haven't checked out our website at WrestleCopia.com, it's a great way to keep up with the latest episodes of all of your favorite Copia programming, from the Wrestling Memory Grenade to Regional Wrestling with the Territory Talk, the Wrestling Stoop with the legendary Bob Roop, and of course all of those programs also available at your favorite podcast streaming platforms. And if you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the Copia world, all the latest news, random thoughts, fun videos, pictures, and more, make sure to join the more than 33,000 followers over at facebook.com/wrestling grenade. Don't be left out. And last but definitely not least, it's what keeps the entire machine going. I'm talking about patreon.com/WrestleCopia. We appreciate your support in helping us pay the bills to keep the WrestleCopia podcast network running and enabling us to continue to bring you all the quality programming that we offer.
Tired of the same boring wrestling podcast? Need something with attitude, chaos, and maybe just a little cussing? That's STSpod.club, and we got it all covered. We got wrestling weirdness with WTF News Desk, 5-minute time limit, and the Southern Fried Brain of me, BT, steering the whole ship. We also have Rolling into Memphis every week about the current Memphis wrestling. Interviews, hot takes, and wrestling outrageousness so wild it might get you banned in 12 states. That's right, it's SDSpod.club, or search all podcast catchers for Shooting the Shiznit, where wrestling podcasts grow chest hair. Not sure what that meant. Love my mama.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Sheik, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, before we do the card, I want to mention something that we had Eddie Marlin out there pimping Jonesboro, like he always does. And if you're new to USWA, that was Eddie's town, so he got a percentage from that town, and that's the reason. But Michael St. John said something when he was doing Around the Horn. He said, Jonesboro's going to be on Sunday. The kids will be ripe and ready for school. What the fuck? They're going to be ripe? Where does he get all these sayings at?
Oh, I don't know, but he should have left that one wherever he found it.
Ripe and ready. Those kids are ripe and ready.
You're going to see Ken Wayne come back to town after that line.
Whoa.
Camera in hand. All right, let's take a look at the card for Monday night. I forgot. I'm supposed to say Master of Terror. That's what the kids call him anyway.
At Star Wars Labor Day Spectacular, USWA Wrestling with 14 big matches, 37 wrestlers on the card. 7:30 is when it all begins. Only an extra buck on the ticket price due to all the people that had to be brought in for this one. Here we go. The opening match of the night. Bull Payne with Samantha goes against Ben Jordan. A tag match. The New Kids will be going against the Goon Squad in the next match. Then it's going to be El Grande Pistolero going against King Cobra. And then the following one right here, I've been told that we didn't have a complete name on Mr. Rhodes, but I have been told that he wants to be referred to as the Pretty Young Thing. That's interesting. We'll find out more about that later. He'll be going against MC Slammer. Then it's going to be Pistol Pez Watley going against Sheik Hussein. Following that, Dutch Mantell will be in a match. He'll be going against Leatherface, who is no small person himself. World Light Heavyweight title on the line. More about this one later on, as the Nightmare Danny Davis will be going against Superstar Bill Dundee. Then, in the next one, a girls' lingerie battle royal. Look at all the people who are going to be in there. Ms. Texas, Sweet Georgia Brown, Debbie Wild, Brandy Wine, and Samantha, all of them in this battle royal. Following that, a grudge tag match. Tennessee stud Robert Fuller says, I'm going to have me a mystery partner there as we go against Awesome Kong and the Bruiser with Reggie B. Fine in the corner. Then a special challenge match. The reason Jeff's not going to be his partner is because Reggie B. Fine has challenged Jeff to a match, and it's going to happen. Jeff Jarrett against Reggie B. Fine in a single match. Then Handsome Jimmy Valiant and Sweet Georgia Brown teamed up to go against Dr. Tom Prichard and Miss Texas. Following that, the Unified World title will be on the line as Lawler will take on the Dragon Master with Honey Love in the corner and with Dirty Dutch Mantell over there to keep his eye on Christopher Honey Love. Final match of the night, Southern Heavyweight title at stake. Tony Anthony, the Dirty White Boy, will be going against flamboyant Eric Embry for the Southern Heavyweight title. Now, I say the final match of the night. It's the final match of the night. But following all of that, there is going to be a giant two-ring battle royal, a triple chance battle royal. What a night. 37 wrestlers, 14 big matches, 7:30 is the special.
The final match of the night.
Match.
14 wrestlers, 14 matches, 37 wrestler. Why did they just make it 40? Is anybody really going to count the wrestlers? It would have sounded, what an odd number, literally. 37 wrestlers. Boy, this is going to be a lot. What was you guys' least favorite part of this show?
I got to go with just the shoehorning of the Dirty White Boy in, like, to defend Eric Embry's promo. Embry got a decent amount of time, and his was, it was okay. But, yeah, it just felt like, well, Dirty White Boy just showed up or, probably running short for time. But, yeah, if that's your last match, your regular match, your main event, probably want to hit it a little harder than that.
Yeah, not a fan of that. There was when Awesome Kong jumped in that match with Fuller and Jarrett, I just thought it was stupid for him to ask Jarrett to slap him. What? I mean, he kept, and then he hit him and he bumped the second punch that Jarrett did. That stuff was just really weird for me, but Kong also had a good chair shot there. But yeah, Tony Anthony, Eric Embry felt out of place on this show. That both interviews and everything feels kind of out of place.
Yeah, like of all the Eric Embry promos, this was my least favorite. And it's not there was anything wrong with it. It just felt like so much more of the same. Like, I don't know. I was like, all right, this is another Eric Embry promo where he tells Dave to shut up and he yells a bit and Kojo stands behind him. I don't know. I was just like, all right, I'm over this. And I get what you're saying about Dirty White Boys promo feeling shoehorned in, but I was almost glad it didn't go any longer than it did, because like this whole match, this whole concept just feels, I'm just tired of it. I don't know why. And it's not like those two have wrestled a bunch of times, but they've been in the same orbit with Prichard and Dirty White Girl and Miss Texas and all that stuff. And it's just like, let's get past this. What was your most favorite part of this week's show?
Man, I got a two-parter. It's going to be Christopher Honey Love and his title celebration and keeping the Dragon Master contained in the box, suffocating. Like he wasn't going to let him out. That big black box was closed, honey, not for open. And Handsome Jimmy and Sweet Georgia Brown assaulting Dave Brown, and that whole thing was just hilarious. I had to rewind it a few times to watch certain things, and oh my God, it was just such good shit.
I got a shoehorn. Everybody's used the word shoehorn, so I'm gonna say shoehorn. I got a shoehorn with the Josh here. I'm not sure I used that word right. Jimmy,
what you think it does.
Jimmy Valiant promo. I loved it. It was everything it's not supposed to be kind of thing. Yeah. I always was a huge Valiant fan, as you guys know. And also the return of Dutch Mantell. Big fan of Lawler and Mantell together. And this whole thing with Stan Hansen. And have you seen Stan Hansen looking under the ring and everything? My two favorite parts right there.
I have to name these clips when I put them in here, and that clip is named Bullies Dave.
Hey, Gene, is that the Boogie Woogie Maine? Is that who that is?
Not then. They still knew how to say man in Memphis back in the
Oh, okay. Now
it would be years before they forget how to say it.
That's
so begs the question. It's Star Wars. It's 14 freaking matches. It's 37 wrestlers. Are you guys buying a ticket for this?
Back then, I would have, yes. But present day, I probably wouldn't break my neck to get there, because I'm going to perceive that to take a long, long time to get through, because it's not like TV. where you've got the time constraints. I mean, I'm sure they won't close the building down at some point, but you figure if even two or three of those matches get squirrely and out of hand, then time frame, it could make it to where you're at the Mid-South Coliseum until 11 o'clock that night. I'm not good with that.
I'm going. I really, ever since they announced the lingerie battle royal, I am there, baby. And then I get Jimmy Valiant, I get Danny Davis, Dutch Mantell, Bill Dundee. Look, it's full. I mean, this is all the people, Jeff Jarrett, that I was huge fans of. But yeah, I'd be there for this one. And it's only $1 more, y'all.
Yeah, $1 more. I don't know. I might stay home and protest that they waited until after Dirty White Girl was gone to have a lingerie battle royal with the ladies. Even back then, I'm not going to be happy with that. But all right, well, BT, tell us all about what's going on at Star Wars and around Star Wars.
The Labor Day show with 37 wrestlers, including, I'm just going to read some stuff that Meltzer said here. Valiant, Coco, and Dutch Mantell drew 2,000 fans at the Mid-South Coliseum. Apparently, there was a snafu because on television they had advertised the tickets being $1, and they didn't tell the box office. So they did not charge an extra $1, and apparently Jerry Jarrett was really upset. Yeah, that would have pissed me off too.
Yeah.
That's an extra $2,000.
Look at you, Mr. Math Magician over there.
Boy, I learned math in Southeast. Southeast Missouri. So there you go. I don't even know where I went to school.
I know how much money that is. I have no idea where I went to school to learn it though.
I was in a special class when it came to math. A couple of title changes on the show with the Mid-South Coliseum with Jerry Lawler regaining the USWA title, beating Dragon Master. Meltzer still didn't know who the hell it was. The finish of the match where Lawler regained the title, saw Chris Love throw powder at Dutch Mantell ringside and interfere to set Lawler up, but Mantell recovered in time to trip the master as was on the ropes, and he fell into the ring and was pinned. So Danny Davis also regained the light heavyweight title, beating Bill Dundee. And you guys say he's going to Wing Promotion. Is that where he's going with that belt?
Yep.
In other matches on the big show, Embry won a 2-ring, 32-man battle royal. Embry kept the Southern title going to a double count out against Tony Anthony, Jimmy Valiant. Jimmy Valiant and Sweet Brown Sugar beat Miss Texas and Tom Prichard. It was Embry's interference that backfired, which caused Valiant to pin Prichard, and then the two argued after the match. He said it appears they're going to set up a Prichard face turn. I don't know. I haven't looked. Jeff Jarrett against Reggie B. Fine. Awesome Kong and the Bruiser beat Coco Ware and Robert Fuller. Sweet Georgia Brown won a 5-women lingerie battle royal by DQ when she was left with Miss Texas, and Embry and Prichard attacked her. Dutch returned and pinned Leatherface, who was Johnny Rotten. Pez Watley beat Sheik Husson, who was George Weingroff. MC Slammer beat Eric Fontaine. King Cobra beat El Grande Pistolero. Woo! The New Kids beat the Goon Squad, which was Gary Scott and Rocket Randy. Bull Payne then beat Ben Jordan. So there we go. And Ben was Dundee's student, so maybe that was the deal. Coco being here was a question for me, and Dave answered it. But I got a question because in '89, they say, I don't remember the story, but they say that Coco was fired. Him and a WWE executive got into a fight in a lobby because of racial slurs. Do y'all remember that?
Well, it was Jim Troy.
Yeah, Jim Troy. Yeah.
Supposedly what had happened, Jim Troy was getting all up in Shawn Michaels shit, like saying, you wrestlers, and getting mad at, razzing them and this and that. He was drunk. Everybody was drunk. And I think from the way I remember, Marty found out or whatever, and then he was friends with Coco, and they all hung out together, and they were hanging out not long after that, and basically worked Coco up into a way where he had to go defend the wrestlers, you know, for the honor and stuff. So he found Jim Troy, who was still drunk, and you know, words were exchanged, and he beat the absolute dog piss out of Jim Troy and got fired.
Yeah, they said they both got fired, but Hogan went to bat for Coco, and Vince brought him back.
Yep.
The reason he's in Memphis now is that the WWE or WWF had a meeting with 15 or so wrestlers who weren't getting any bookings over the next 7 weeks because they're only running one big show per night. So since the guys don't have a guaranteed money contract, no booking means no work. So WWF told the guys that they could actually work other shows, but the only 2 places they couldn't work was for Herb Abrams and World Championship Wrestling, and they could not appear on any wrestling videos. They could be on live television, but they couldn't be on, couldn't be videotaped. So Coco's here, but he's still under contract with WWF at the time.
Wow. Yeah, I can just imagine, they tell Coco what Jim Troy said, and he's like, "Oh no,
I'm gonna go beat his motherfucking ass."
Yeah. Did he bring Frankie with him? Apparently, they busted open a glass window in the hotel lobby. I mean, they were going at it. So
Coco ain't one to mess around with, dude. Don't think just that he carries a parrot around that he's a chump, because he will whoop that ass.
You heard the story where, Mark Undertaker kind of roughed him up, and backstage Coco was in Mark's face. I mean, big time. And Mark finally said, "You want to take this outside?" Because he was getting tired of getting his ass chewed. Yeah. But he did. He looked like he killed Coco that night. So,
yeah, Coco ain't about that bullshit. I haven't watched it yet, but somebody messaged me yesterday and asked me had I seen it. Apparently, this hot tamale guy watches that video of him beating the shit out of that Patriot dude, that jobber, that famously videos everywhere. Well, apparently him and Coco watched that video together. So I may have to check that out just to see what Coco has to say about it, because I've never really heard Coco's version of what the issue was. But there clearly was one, because he was always rough on the jobbers, but holy shit, not like that. So
that Patriot guy had an issue with me for some reason. If you listen to the CWA show, you might understand why.
Did you sit Coco on him?
Maybe I did. There we go. That's what happened.
He was talking shit about wrestling, Coco.
It was the other way around. It would have been a Patriot trying to get Coco to whip my ass.
That's true, and it backfired on him. Maybe that's what it was.
That was it.
Coco was like, "That's my boy, BT." Oh yeah. Well, it's that time again. It's time to talk about what's going on this week over at stspod.club.
Every day we do the Shiznit Minute about the current wrestling scene. It's on everything. All you got to go is stspod.club. In the right-hand corner is the link of all links. We did Rolling into Memphis this week. We also put up Cassette Wrestling News. Great companion to what we're doing now. It's the same time period. This week we have Hit Me With Your First Shot. We bring on Stacy Jane, who is part of is on a 5-minute time limit every time. But her first album was WWE The Music, Volume 2. Fun show with that. Wow. And we have our 8th annual April 1st show. Wink, wink. Make sure you're just following us on Shooting the Shiznit on any podcast catcher. Got a bunch of stuff coming out. Bunch of stuff coming out on the retro feed also that Gene's putting out. Some fun interviews that I did. So.
Good stuff. Well, now you know what time it is. It is time for P3 Radio. And, of course, P3 Radio leads into the P3.
That's right. 4 out of 5 hoots this week. Good show. Up in Arms is the name of it, episode 451. We found out that Josh's ancestors were some of the good Germans. Richard cannot say the word Jew. He does not say Jew. Richard's scared to go to Dollar General because they're in the hood. High school talent show argument about what happened and how many blacks were there. They said never encourage a kid to do a talent show. Richard did a wrestling match as part of his talent, and he also wore a green mask for his high school wrestling team tryouts. I'm not making that one up. Richard kayfabes people's names from all the way back in the 6th grade, which I find hilarious.
No.
They talk. He says, let me write it down. No one knows who you're talking about, Richard. I just love it. They did the cornhole player amputee killing someone's story that every podcast did, and I went, oh, they're going to do this story. All of a sudden, they started playing the Buff Bagwell clip, sound bites, and oh my God, I laughed so hard I was crying. The people in the hospital were looking at me like, what is wrong with this guy? And I had to text you and Richard and say, good God, that was funny. It made it that much. It was funny the first time I heard it, and then it kept. They have another amputee story. It's just, I don't know. Amputee Up in Arms, and it was named that for a reason. Really good show. Really good show.
But it was bizarre because it was in the current news, and it's also another person who literally has no arms or legs.
Yeah.
How many times in big news is that in twice? 2 different situations. Never in history.
Everything about the cornhole story had me just rolling. The thing that he shot somebody while driving. He was a professional cornhole player. Everything, and you know the video where he nubs a guy instead of fist bumps him. There was all kinds of, y'all know the old jokes. Can Johnny come out and play? No, Johnny don't have any arms or legs. We want to use him for second base. So that's all I could think about is the cornhole player second base. So
multiple amputee stories in the news. That's what times we live in. Trump's gonna have to make a speech about these amputees are out of control. We gotta
We're gonna make him better. We're gonna get him arms.
I do have a Patreon question about this. So teaser Patreon question.
Speaking of, if you want to see Hot Mike's, the post show where BT lets it all hang out and asks the questions and tells the stories that we make him not tell here on the main feed, you can go to either patreon.com/retro wrestling archive. You can also go to patreon.com/shooting the shiznit. That plays on both Patreons, but then each Patreon has its own exclusive content as well. Subscribe to them both. It's not a lot of money. You'll enjoy it, I promise. And for more of all my nonsense, you can go to retrowrestlingarchive.club. All my podcasts are there. My articles are there. Did one this week on Phil Hickerson. Hope folks go and check that out. And I heard rumor I may be involved in something that Phil Hickerson may be involved in, so I may finally get a chance to meet Phil Hickerson, and I'm pretty excited about that. But I won't spoil what that is until I know for sure. But besides all that, right now you need to go and get your tickets for EPW's Crossroads Clash at the Crossroads Arena in Corinth, Mississippi, Saturday, April 25th. Featuring WWE Hall of Famers The Godfather and Medusa, a.k.a. Alundra Blaze. Also, Ace Austin will be there. You can get your tickets now at epwwrestlingms.com. All right, guys, anything else before we take it home?
Love my mama.
All right, we'll see you next week for more Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast.
Bell rings.
In a business built on secrets, some stories were never meant to be told. But now, they are. From Memphis wrestling icons, Dangerous Doug Gilbert and Tommy Wildfire Rich, comes the podcast that not only pulls back the curtain, it rips it down. Real stories. No filters. From wild road stories to the truth behind the headlines, this is the kind of locker room talk you won't hear anywhere else. Dangerous Conversations with Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich. New episodes weekly on YouTube, all podcast platforms, and early uncensored access on Patreon. Look us up on DougGilbertPodcast.com.
Every tale, every stitch, dangerous conversations, you don't change this.